Siemens is serving, which is a very broad range from energy, infrastructure, industry, or healthcare. So digitalization is a driver for productivity. It's a driver for shortening the cycle time of our products. It's a driver for individual products. So we see more and more personalized products also in the healthcare area, talking about drugs. So therefore, digitalization is really a motor of driving and changing economies. Another example is maybe the mobility sector, where digitalization is changing the whole world, how we drive in cars. It's going autonomous, connected. It will be electric and shared, all driven by digitalization. So therefore, that's a matter of fact, and it will go very, very fast, and the implementation in the different markets will be fast. So what's the impact on the society? I think the biggest impact is that we see a change in the way how we are working. So there are new capabilities which are requested from people. So the jobs which we see today are not the same jobs which we see in the future. Many studies are saying that a lot of jobs are going away, and new jobs, which we even don't know yet, will be created. I do believe that it will be, after all, a positive impact. So very many people fear that digitalization takes jobs away. Also, maybe autonomous robotics will replace people. But remember, we are living in an aging society. So the labor market, which was driving very much of the growth, is not supporting that anymore. So I do believe that ultimately it's positive. Yet we have to acknowledge that we have to spend more money in education and training. We will see lifelong learning, so people have to be trained and educated in a much, much faster cycle, because digitalization has also shorter cycles, which means this is the challenge for us to really educate and train people. Well, let me start in saying, I think the question is what kind of fuel is in the tank. If there are smart people in there, then it's definitely a role. I do believe that it's important to have think tanks, and the reason is, along with the point that we have digitalization changing our market so fast, it's much, much more difficult to predict where our market's going, where to allocate capital, where to put resources in order, coming back to education and training. So we need think tanks, we need smart people, eventually also people coming from different disciplines, so you have different perspectives looking into certain areas. And we have to have these think tanks to think ahead, stay tuned in seeing what's changing in the market, and give us much, much more guidance and a more intelligent guidance in what to do. This holds true. Guidance, I do believe, is necessary for the public as well as the private sector, because they have ultimately also to work together, get in sync, which is another element. What I think tanks can do, that they can also bridge and facilitate the discussion between the public and the private sector, and make them walk in the same direction after all.